Hello, everyone. This is Maryann here from Revealing Light Tarot, Astrology and Spirituality. How are you? Wherever you are in the world when you're watching, a huge shout out to you. I wanted to look at the full moon in Sagittarius on the 3rd/4th of June, coming up in the next few days. Sagittarius, of course, is a mutable fire sign. And if we look at the fire signs, which are all about passion, motivation, movement forward, the signs that are of that element, we have Aries, which is the cardinal, Leo, which is the fixed, and Sagittarius, which is the mutable. And to borrow a definition from Rick Levine, he says, where Aries would start the fire, Leo would keep it going, being the fixed sign, and Sagittarius, being the mutable, would be the spark that finds the new direction for the next fire, or words to that effect. A mutable sign is somebody that, or is a sign that goes with the flow, is able to search out the new. Sagittarius rules the 9th house of the zodiac. The 9th house is associated, and Sagittarius is associated with higher knowledge, with philosophy, with logic, all the good stuff, law, learning. In fact, Sagittarians can often be the eternal students. Sagittarians are optimistic. They're very much future oriented because they're always, again, on the move, searching for the new destination. They're associated with travel and looking toward that horizon. They have been described, when they're positively orientated, as the sage of the zodiac, the seer, if you like. But when they're in the negative, they can be fanatical as well. Now, full moons are all about culminations. They're about endings of cycles, wrapping things up. While new moons are about beginning new things, beginning new cycles. So because this is a full moon, or some refer to it as a strawberry moon, the full moon in Sagittarius, this is about considering, given Sagittarius will look to the future, considering what we need to wrap up now. What are those things that we've left in the too hard basket, or we've been procrastinating about? Sagittarius full moon is about providing you with the motivation and the inspiration to pick that out of the basket and get going with it. I think, when we look at the what is occurring in current events, and particularly in our politics, we see that we are in that process of wrapping up old cycles. And we're being given the opportunity, even though it seems like it's in the too hard basket, we're being given that opportunity to create something new. And indeed, when I look at the chart for the full moon, I see those opportunities there, and a lot of support for overcoming what is holding us back, because that's the way astrology works. It doesn't just show you a small piece of the puzzle, it shows you the entire picture. Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter. Jupiter is expansion. It's about the future as well. It's the great benefic. So it's lucky. Think Wheel of Fortune in the tarot, and supersize that luck. Jupiter is currently in Taurus at the moment. Taurus is one of those fixed signs. Again, the determination to keep things going. So an expansion of really the universe way to help us through the hard times. So Jupiter, meaning those efforts that we keep persisting with, even though it's too hard, it's like there's a reward there. So I want to do a couple of things today for the full moon. Again, Sagittarius being very the optimistic sign of the zodiac. I want to pull some cards for us personally. What are we being shown around this full moon? What do we need to let go of? What do we need to take care of? What business is it that we need to take care of so we can prepare ourselves to set sail for that distant new horizon? I want to do that reading for us all. I think, sometimes we just need to kick ourselves up a gear and get our head out of the muck of politics, or perhaps if we don't get our head out of politics, at least look at it from a higher view, and look at what's going on in our lives and look at the trends and piece that puzzle together. So I want to pull, I'm pulling from the Good Tarot and the Shaman's Dream Oracle, a pull for all of us. Doesn't matter whether you're on the left or the right or the center of politics, this pull will be for you. I then want to look at the chart so that you can see just how much tension and conflict there is. There's what's called in astrology a grand square. What you need to know about that, sorry, a grand cross. What you need to know about that is there's very, very powerful opposing forces. Makes sense, doesn't it, when you look at what's happening around the world? But there's also some things going in our favor. And there's Jupiter in Taurus. So we get that luck there for our persistence, for the hard work that we put in to ourselves, to our communities, and to our countries. All right, so let's just start with full moon in Sagittarius, the 9th house, Sagittarius, the philosopher, the learner, the student. We get the 7 of water, choices before us. And I think in that chart we have Neptune in Pisces along with Saturn, but I'll get to the chart later, and that is trining Venus in Cancer. So we kind of know where our feelings are, or our emotions are kind of over the top, are putting up those boundaries, are taking us in the wrong direction, because we're being forced to confront what we're creating at this time. It's very obvious what we're creating, and this is about using our higher minds, our higher selves, approaching things logically as well as intuitively. Sagittarius is a very psychic sign. It's associated with the occult, among other things. So it's about the blending of those two, the balancing of the water, the emotions, and the earth, the pragmatism, and getting that balance right so that we can move forward in a healthy, not a fanatical way, not a negative way. All right, so let's have a look. What are the messages that Spirit would like to bring forward for the collective for the full moon in Sagittarius? Whoa, so many cards jumped out. I will take that, the 5 of Earth. We've got a lot of planets in Taurus as well, still Taurus being associated with the financial systems, and your own finances as well. This is a time to conserve rather than splash out. This is a time for welcoming with that optimism, welcoming those to your table in your circle, or perhaps those that aren't in your circle, welcoming those that have been away back. If you've been estranged from anyone, show me what we need to learn or know about the full moon in Sagittarius. So we thank you, Spirit. We get the Fortune's Wheel. This is actually Sagittarius's major arcana. It's Jupiter, associated with Jupiter and Sagittarius, the Fortune's Wheel. So when we say what will pay off, but that persistence, well, it is that optimism. It is about getting up when you're down or when you've been battered around a bit or disappointed. And it's about seeing what's new, seeing that sunrise coming up over the horizon to the new day. It's about bringing forward that optimism. Now we have the moon card. Okay, so the full moon, it's the cycles, it's associated with the soul, the emotions. And that moon, of course, is in Sagittarius. Now we have the King of Pentacles, fortune, money. Again, there's so much going on with inflation. Germany, I think, has been tilted over into recession. I think in the UK, food inflation's around 19%. We're all concerned about our money, about the financial system. Several large banks have collapsed, and we get the 8 of air. In the US, we get the 8 of air, and that is restricting ourselves by focusing only on the world around, the world around us. Earthly, mundane type of concerns will restrict us. Let's see what else these cards are. Yes, Sagittarius, another Sagittarian card, the 9 of Fire. This is about placing the guardrails where they need to be so that you can get on with what inspires you. At the base of the pack, we have the Empress, bringing forward that abundance. All right, so let's have a look at we'll clarify a few of these cards. I think we'll clarify the 5 of Pentacles. 5 of Pentacles. Of course, that in the tarot talks about a loss, but after a loss comes the 6, which is healing. And again, if you're persistent, you will move through that change. 5s are associated with change toward that healing cycle. Show me that 5 of Pentacles, please. And we get gestation, winter's dream, gestation, a gestation period. Okay, so this fits with the chart I'm going to show you shortly about what we know to be true about what's going on around us at this time. If you bring it down to the micro level, look at what needs to change in your life, because that Sagittarius will embrace change. Perhaps you need to set yourself up for a future cycle of change, because what you have now is just no longer working for you. Let's have a look at the Fortune's Wheel. Of course, that is the card along with the moon, Sagittarius moon. There we've got the 2 cards which tend to come out of my packs in a very fortuitous way. We have the moon in Sagittarius. That's the descriptive tarot cards. Let's have a look at the Fortune's Wheel. Show me the Fortune's Wheel, please. Okay, so we have treasures hidden in the shadow, will-o'-the-wisp, and that's the optimism of Sagittarius. They will look into those shadows. They will take a peer into those shadows because they want to learn. They want to learn the good, the bad, the ugly, and they will extract. Sagittarius has the ability to extract the treasures from the shadows. And we get ancestral wisdom, lay of the land. This is this energy of the Sagittarius full moon is available to you, to me, to all of us, regardless of your sign, regardless of where you are in the world. This is the universal truths. And we get dances on one foot, balancing act. So this time that we're in, the Sagittarius full moon, very much talks about that balancing act, getting the balance right. Let's have a look at the moon card, major arcana, along with Fortune's Wheel. in the good tarot. Show me why the Moon card is here. Radical acceptance, beloved. We're being called upon to accept what we personally can't change, and to focus on what we can. And for that we can't change, to look upon that in a heart-centered way. And I'm getting really strongly to look upon ourselves, accept ourselves, let go of trying to put everything and everyone to right, and accept those as they are, and accept yourself. No blame, no guilt. Woodwives, adaptability at this time. There's the strength and the sage advice. Be adaptable. Be adaptable. Those that are adaptable, mutable, go with the flow, don't resist, let go, move on, move to the new, accept change into their lives, have a treasure, or can have a treasure waiting for them. Now I'm going to look at the 9 of Fire and see what the 9 of Fire is here for. Show me this 9 of Fire. Choices and their consequences. Feast of plenty. That sort of reminds me of the 2 of Swords. In anything, regardless of what situation you might be facing, there is a time for to put those guardrails up. Choices and their consequences, to be aware of the choices that you make and the consequences that they bring, and to understand, Feast of Plenty, that you're going to attract at this time, this full moon in Sagittarius, a certain degree of luck, of fortune from the choices that you are currently making. Let's have a look at this King of Earth. The King of Earth, show me the King of Earth. And we have clarity and organization, a time of a tidy house, a time of organization. It's like, again, those areas of dysfunction that you have, it's a very earth energy. Those areas, particularly mentally, that, you know, you've kind of checked out of because they're just too much in the hard basket. It's time to face them, moving out of stagnation. This is what we're wrapping up, because Sagittarius will encourage us to move forward, not to stand still, but to move forward. And that is the covenant, the sacred contract that we all signed when we came into this life. It's about evolution. It's about progress. It's not about giving up. It's about searching for the new, wherever you may find the new. And we get confidence in your magic, magician's sword. And of course, that's Sagittarius. Very, very confident because fortune's wheel, Jupiter is their ruler. So root girl, disowned self. Again, part of that stagnation could be what you've disowned within yourself. What is stagnant? Spiritual narcolepsy and galactic mushroom. What you're trying to hide. It's time to come out of the Sagittarian, out of the shadows, and to see what that treasure is. Sometimes for some it'll just be forgiveness, and then the courage to step into life. The courage to step into life. It's not about stepping back at the moment. It's about stepping forward. And that's what Sagittarius and Jupiter encourages you to do. All right, let's move on to look at the chart, and I'll pack those cards up later, and to just have a look at what some of these themes, or how some of these themes are playing out in our politics. Okay. There's my chart. And for those that don't necessarily want to follow on, you can leave the reading here, or for those that want to follow along, please keep joining me. I will pull another tarot spread on the big thing in Washington at this time, which is the agreement between the US president and the leader of the House, the Republican leader of the House, Kevin McCarthy, to raise the debt ceiling. As some of you who follow my political readings, you'll know that I did say that they would reach agreement. However, this is the bottom line. It will take Democrats and Republicans. This is in my most recent reading. It will take them both to raise this, because I feel there will be Democrats and Republicans who will vote no on this. Okay, but let's just, that's the machinations. Okay, Sagittarius asks us to look at the bigger picture. Now, straight away, I've increased the size of my pointer here for some. Here we have our pointer. Straight away, what jumps out in this chart is this cross, this huge cross in the center of the chart. It's called a grand cross. And of course, we have the sun currently in Gemini. Gemini, the intellect, thinking, communication, inner, outer, quickness, mercurial type of communication. Gemini is ruled by Mercury. We have the sun in Gemini opposing, obviously, the moon in Sagittarius. That's what makes the moon full. But we also have, just to make things a little bit more interesting, we have Pluto, which is currently still in Aquarius. Thank the Lord. Because if it was in Capricorn, then, oh gosh, that would be a different thing altogether. Pluto it's about to regress back into Capricorn. But it's still here in Aquarius. It's actually at 0 degrees 6 in Aquarius. Could we have been any more luckier? Because Aquarius is about the many. It's about the collective. We have Pluto opposing Venus in Cancer. This is about our feelings within ourselves. This is about the earth as well. It's about love. It's about our relationships, and it's supercharged in cardinal Cancer. Cardinal Cancer is extremely emotive. Pluto in Aquarius. So what's this telling us? My chart is over Washington, but the aspects and the planets will be in the same signs wherever you cast your chart. But over Washington with these debt ceiling negotiations. Now I'm being specific to Washington. This is about people having to put the greater good before. So nobody gets everything that they want. The President Biden already said that. But there are supercharged feelings here. Pluto here will show us who is here for themselves and who is not. And that's going to be even further illustrated when we go over to this 7th house, straddling both Leo and Virgo, the 7th house of relationships and partnerships. Now here we have good old Mars, the planet of action in Leo. Leo is about expression. You can expect a lot of headlines, a lot of interviews, a lot of people getting on the bandwagon and voicing their opinion. But guess what? We get to see what side of the coin, so to speak, they're on. Are they going to be constructive? Are they going to be destructive? Are they going to be future-oriented, or are they going to be regressive? Are they going to be optimistic, or are they going to be negative? Because guess what? With all these planets down here in Taurus, Taurus rules our financial systems, the longevity, the sustainability, the health, if you like, of our financial systems. We've still got Uranus shaking things up. We've got the North Node and we've got Mercury and Vesta in this 3rd house. Vesta is the asteroid associated with our home. Jupiter, of course, as I said, is expansion, and it can expand either way. So there's a quality of determination here in this chart. And I really don't think that there would have been an agreement without the determination of the White House in this, because this was a situation where the debt ceiling was used as a blackmailing tool. It didn't have to be coupled with the budget, but Republicans wanted that because they wanted leverage to do all sorts of things that would not have been in the interests of the many. Thank goodness Pluto is in Aquarius. But it also shows us the corruption there. So all of this is not helping the financial markets, not so much the markets, the financial systems at this time. You can expect perhaps a drop in the markets at this time because the communication, third house is about communication. The uncertainty and instability surrounding this would be spooking financial markets. So we have Jupiter squaring both Venus in Cancer and also Mars in Leo. We'll see who's in it for themselves and their political fortunes and who is in it for the good of not only the US. If the US were to default on the 5th of June, as their Treasury has said, that's the date, that could have the potential to cause a global meltdown. Here we are on the 3rd of June in this chart, and the agreement's tentatively just been reached. There's a way to go with the MAGA Republicans and with Democrats who may not be happy about what is reportedly going to be a freeze in certain spending over the next couple of years. We have Jupiter also trining Saturn in Pisces, and we have Neptune trining Venus in Cancer. Sextiling. We have Neptune sextiling Pluto and Neptune trining Venus in Cancer. And we have Jupiter sextiling Saturn in Pisces. What's all this mean, you say? Well, I can tell you it's a good thing when you get those trines and those sextiles to major and volatile planets. It's about bringing something into form. Remember, Sagittarius full moon is about the culmination of something. This is about where do you want to go from here? What do you want to create? What are you creating? Well, let's throw that out on the table and let's take a look at what you're creating. And Saturn in Pisces reminds us that when we all know something is going to happen, when we all know the train's going to go off the tracks, we're bound to put the work in to stop that from happening. So there's corruption being exposed now. I don't need to go into all of that. I do many readings on the multiple investigations of the Republican Party. These investigations have been ongoing, particularly of criminal defendant Trump for many years in terms of special counsel investigations and now criminal investigations. We have Mars in Leo trining the moon in Sagittarius. I like that. Remember, Leo will keep that fire burning. Sagittarius will seek a new destination for the volatility, for our emotions, for the storm, if you like, a new destination to move out of the storm in the 7th house. That can only be done by partnerships. So as much as we're going to see the corruption, as much as we're going to see who's for stability and the future of our world in a sustainable and safe way, we're also going to see who is trying to destroy. Who's in it for what is what we're seeing. So this is going to be a volatile time, but I think looking at that chart with all that opposition, remember oppositions, conflicts, they give us some of our greatest achievements. So watch for the truth and the volatility and who's there for what, but also watch for the magic, because that's what Sagittarius and Jupiter will bring forward. It will give us the magic. Who are the Democrats and the Republicans that will come together to avert tragedy, financial meltdown, which could be tragic for many, many people. So that's what I have today for you. I hope that you've enjoyed the format that I've given you today, which enables you to get something personally out of this reading. But for those that want to put the pieces together in the world of government, because government affects us all, then there's something there for you too. All right, I'll be back again with another reading soon. Thank you for joining me. And